Yo, what's up guys? Today we're going to be doing a review on the CeraPad Kin and also the TJ exclusive Gpro Superlight mouse base. Wow, that was a mouthful. Before we get into this video, I do want to say that this is my first review ever, so please bear with me if I use any incorrect terminology, grammar, or whatever. Feel free to correct me or just flame me in the comments. It doesn't matter to me. If we can hit 15 likes on this video, that would be absolutely phenomenal. If you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. It goes a long way in helping me make better and more content. And if you're interested in this kind of content, talking about peripherals or just Apex content in general, I stream every day except Monday. I might cut back an extra day just so I have more time to create content for you guys on the YouTubes. And yeah, let's go ahead and get into this video. So first off, I want to talk about the base. When I first got this base, I was really nervous to change it out because the Gpro has been my favorite mouse ever since it came out. This mouse is literally the day one Superlight, and I've never had a single issue with it, so I've always loved this mouse. I was really scared to break it, and if that's a concern of yours, I want to reassure you that it is extremely easy to replace the base without breaking anything. So first off, all you have to do is take off the mouse feet, unscrew it, and then take off the PCB from the original base and put it on this base, and then screw it back in and slap new mouse feet on. And it is that easy. It's super easy, super simple. It takes about 20-25 minutes if you're new to it. I think the hardest part was the ribbon cable. That was really hard for me to get back into place. It was really tedious. It wasn't really hard necessarily. But yeah, overall it was a really easy experience, good experience. My only complaint about this is when you first get this base on, it's going to feel a lot less premium than the original base, but you do adjust to it very quickly. I think if you're worried about weight and you can't justify buying a new mouse, this is a super good option. It almost feels like I have a just brand new Superlight, just a newer version that's lighter. The pickup time is a lot less. It feels like it's a lot easier to get your mouse going. The stopping power is just as good as it was before, and overall it's just a really pleasant experience. Again, my only complaint is how premium it feels. It definitely feels a little less premium at first, especially if you're pushing around in a lot of places. The clicking almost echoes a little bit, which wasn't an issue to me, but I could definitely see that giving off a less premium sound, if that makes sense. But overall, I think if you don't want to spend the money on a brand new mouse, this is a very good option. So it's really nice. I do recommend it. It's $20. I will put the link in the description if this is something you're interested in. I had to watch a video while I took the Gpro apart, and other than that, it was very self-explanatory. Again, it took about 20 minutes. I would recommend it, and it feels like a brand new mouse, and I love it. So let's go ahead and talk about the CeraPad now. I'm going to say this right off the bat. I think this is going to be my endgame mouse pad, and I absolutely love it. I think I'm going to be on it for at least 5 to 6 more months. Honestly, I don't even want to buy another pad at this point. If I were to go back to a cloth pad, I'd definitely go back to an Odin Infinity or my Artisan Hind. But overall, I really like this pad, and let's go ahead and break it down. So I did get the 505 by 405 millimeter version. I do have a SkyPad to compare that with, SkyPad 3.0 that is. So the size of this is basically the same. So this is an $120 mouse pad for the SkyPad or for the CeraPad Kin in this size. And you can see it's about 5 millimeters shorter on the height and about 5 millimeters shorter on the width. So pad for pad, buck for buck, you're basically getting the same size mouse pad, which is really good. So now we have to break down, is it justified to pay $120 for a mouse pad, right? So let's talk about my experience at the beginning. Oh, the base, by the way, the base is really good. There's no slip unless you're physically trying to move it. It's really easy to move if you want to move it, but if you're playing, you don't have to worry about this thing moving at all. It's super good base. So yeah, let's talk about my experience at first. For the first 2 days, I cannot sugarcoat this. I hated this mouse pad. I definitely did not think I was going to make it past a week on this. I definitely was thinking about selling it right off the bat. When you first unbox it, there is a massive break-in period. I'd say about 18 hours, give or take 3 hours. It's not that long a break-in period, but it definitely makes you not want to play on this mouse pad after a little bit. It feels like the mouse pad is fighting you, like almost like there's a rubber band on your arm. When you're going left, it feels like the mouse wants you to go back to the right. When you're going right, it makes you want to go back to the left. It just feels like you're getting pulled back and forth, and I really hated that. But as soon as I got past the break-in period, man, I absolutely fell in love with this pad. It was just night and day. As soon as you get past that threshold, it feels like it's almost as smooth as a SkyPad while still maintaining the control, a little bit less control as an Odin Infinity. It really is the mouse pad between like a hybrid mouse pad and the SkyPad. It's just the perfect combination, and I absolutely love it. So it definitely has more stopping power than the SkyPad, but it also has a little bit, it's a little bit harder to get the mouse moving, which is kind of what you would expect on a more of a controlled hard pad, and it's what you would want on a more controlled hard pad. So it's very smooth, but I feel like the experience is closer to that of a hybrid mouse pad compared to the SkyPad. I feel like it's a little bit more on the control side than the fast side, but it still keeps that same level of smoothness. So with any hard pad, you're going to get a lot of hair and dust on it, and you're going to notice it instantly. I'd say the hair is a little bit less of an issue on the CeraPad Kin than it is on the SkyPad. As soon as you swipe over it on the SkyPad, you instantly want to take your mouse off and clean it off. Whereas on the CeraPad Kin, if you're mid-fight or something in any game, you kind of feel like you can fight through it a little bit. But with the dust, you can notice it a lot. You definitely have to, you can see a little, I just cleaned it off just now, but you can see a little bit of dust right there. You have to clean it off a lot because you can definitely feel the inconsistencies on the pad when your mouse goes over it, which is really annoying. The other thing is when you get any oils or liquids, just even a tiny bit, you can definitely feel how much faster your mouse is on that specific spot. So wiping it down every 15-20 minutes, even more than that, is definitely inconvenient, but it's definitely worth it. And I don't think it takes away from how premium this mouse pad feels. So I think how good it feels almost justifies having to clean it off a lot. And it's really not that big of a deal. It's a little annoying at first, but you get used to it. So one con that I would have for mouse pads other than the dust and hair, for hard pads that is just how it feels on your skin, right? When I was on the SkyPad, I adapted having to wear my arm sleeve with my thumb on it, so it kind of touches here and covers this area, because when I use the SkyPad, it just feels like my skin sticks to it and drags almost, and it almost hurts and irritates my skin a lot. And I do not feel like this the CeraPad does it. It definitely feels more comfortable with it on the on my entire hand, but I could definitely play this game with it even making contact with my wrist without a problem. If I were to get a lot sweatier, I think there would be a little bit more stickiness on it and it would be uncomfortable, but I do not think it would be nearly as uncomfortable as the SkyPad is to play bare skin on glass. Hopefully that makes any sort of sense. Something else to consider when getting this pad is what mouse feet you're using. On the Gpro, I have core pads, and this pad feels very controlled, very smooth. It almost feels soft. It kind of feels like a soft SkyPad with the core pads on. I don't really know how to explain it. It's not very loud either compared to the default skates of the X2. It's very loud, but this definitely feels a lot faster, a lot smoother, a little bit less controlled, which honestly I personally don't like. I definitely like the control I get out of the SkyPad on this pad, so I will have to get some core pads for the X2s that I have. But I've heard, I haven't tried them, the BTL skates are more controlled than default, for example, these default skates, but they're on the faster side. Well, Tiger Ice feet are definitely more controlled is what I've heard on this pad. I haven't tested either of those skates, so do with that information as you will. I definitely do need to do more testing, as I've heard this mouse pad specifically with the ceramic coating. I have so much trouble saying ceramic, I don't know why, but with the ceramic coating, I've heard that it breaks down for some people, and I think this is just a very uncommon issue for some people, where the surface of the coating will break down and create a lot of inconsistencies. I have heard that TJ does replace these pads if that does happen to you, but I will update you guys in a few months. I'll make another video of how the long-term usage of this feels. Like I said, I've only been on it for about 3 weeks, and so far it feels great, but that doesn't justify it for the long run in terms of how much money this pad costs. So like I said, I'll update it, but would I recommend this pad? If you're not worried about the price of it and you really want to get a hard pad, I definitely recommend this over the SkyPad 3.0. I like it a lot more. I think it's more controlled, it's more consistent, and I really enjoy this pad. I've enjoyed the experience since I broke it in. Now on the day one experience, I did enjoy the CeraPad 3.0. There was no break-in period with the 3.0, and it just felt the same as it does now for me personally. It's just, it feels really premium. I know I keep downsizing the CeraPad compared to this pad, but the CeraPad 3.0 does feel premium. It does feel a lot smoother and a lot faster. So if that's what you're into, then the CeraPad 3.0 might be for you. But I definitely recommend using a sleeve like this on the CeraPad just because of the skin sensation. And again, that might just be more of a me issue based on my own skin, but yeah, that's just something to think about. The CeraPad 2.0 as well is a good option. It doesn't feel as sticky to the skin as the 3.0, but it's not as smooth, giving it almost a more controlled feeling. So if you don't want to spend $120, I think the CeraPad 2.0 is only $70 or $80 right now, which might be more in your budget. But overall, if you can't justify spending that much money at all, I strongly recommend getting an Odin Infinity, which is my favorite hybrid pad that I've used. I do think it's more consistent than the Artisan Hein. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but I definitely do love my Odin Infinity. It's always the pad that I go back to in terms of soft pads, and I've been using a lot of control pads lately, and I always find myself going back to that. So it's kind of the same experience with the G Pro. It's just, it feels like a very premium pad. So yeah, if you don't want to justify that price range, I definitely recommend the Odin Infinity. And if you really like the Odin Infinity, then maybe think about upgrading to the CeraPad Kin in the near future. So the tracking feels absolutely phenomenal. The flicking feels great. I think I would recommend this for specifically Apex, COD, Overwatch, really fast-paced FPS games is what it would be best for. Valorant, it would be fun to play on, but I don't think it would be the best pad for Valorant. Hardpad wise, if you do want to play Valorant, I would recommend this over the CeraPad by a long shot. But honestly, for Valorant, I'd stick to something like the Odin Infinity or just any control pad in general. But I haven't tried Valorant on this. It could be a very fun experience. I will update you guys on that as I start getting into Valorant a little bit more. But that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. Hopefully for my first review, this was solid. Again, if we can hit 15 likes on this video, that would be absolutely amazing. And yeah, let's go ahead and end it there. I love you guys. Peace.